Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about the delay, but welcome to the DCUO Sourcecast. I am, of course, Trex, and tonight I have beside me via the interwebs, Super Patriot.
Well, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
And we have two special guests tonight. We have Rokyn
Nice to meet you guys. Rokyn here.
and Harlequin.
Good evening. Hello.
So we got Rokyn and Harlequin are actually here because I have been paying attention to the Rage and Munitions testing threads today, or for the past week or so since it's been on test, and they have been providing some great numbers, great feedback, and so I wanted them on the show to join us in discussion to talk about the changes and see where the mid-range where the powers are at mid-range at this point on test. Brittany will be joining us in a little bit. She's running a little bit late. Apparently she's in Prison Break Elite and yelling at people about being in the fire. That's what Lurker told me. I don't remember fire being in there. It might be an Elite only thing.
It's an attack that Brother Light does.
Oh, I did not see that. All right, so we're just going to talk about test server stuff tonight, and we do have one test server hotfix. I think we actually have another one that came out this week, and we also have a question. Technically, it's a suggestion from a forum member. I didn't get to answer it last week, so sorry about that, Jacob. But we'll talk about it this week. But first things first, let's see how our weeks have been. Soups, how your week has been, man?
Not too bad, not too bad. Everything's a lot less salty than it was last week.
Is it? I haven't spoken to her
really
all
about that,
week.
yeah. Things have gotten a little less salty. Well, I don't know about Brittany. I mean, I can't speak for Brittany, but at least in the league, you know, things are a little less salty now. So,
Okay.
you know, we got that to look forward to. Yeah.
So, anyone else get a new OP belt yet?
No.
Okay.
Not for lack of trying. But
Yeah. Nothing.
Rokyn, how's your week been?
It's been good. Full of exams outside of the game. Inside the game. Been PvPing lately. I'm horrible at it, but my league keeps pushing me to do it, and I'm just horrible at it. I get mad, but it's fun. You know, you play for fun and everything, and then just running the raids and stuff. You know. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Most bueno, most bueno. What about you, Harlequin?
Well, outside the game, I'm 2.5 weeks out from a total hip replacement, so that's why I have so much time to play, because I'm not working. So that's good. I'm on a cane, no more walker, yay. And in the game, I've just been playing alts and leveling alts and playing around, and testing a lot. So that's good. I made tier 6, finally made Patrol Catastrophe with my latest alt, so I'm going to spam the heck out of that later.
Good deal, good deal. I hope your healing process goes very well.
So far, so good.
So my week has been pretty okay. I haven't really gotten to play live all week. I got to play I did some Black Ember recording, but I'm having issues with my computers right now because we're on the same network, but neither one of them want to see each other. So apparently they're having a lover's quarrel. I hate that. So, but I have been doing some testing for Rage. I finally made a Tunzo test character, and I spent last night working on getting him geared, getting him modded, and now I have to go into I need to go to my base and get the base mods and where are the generator mods on test?
You have to go to the mascara, you know, like the mascara section, and then you talk to one of the vendors, and they have the mods in the bottom. I think it's version 6.3. Don't quote me on that, but yeah.
Okay, so it's not in Halls of Power Part 2 then. Yeah, I have to go to the mascara.
No. Yeah, it's on the way to Gotham Under Siege, that little stage.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember the vendor's name. It starts with a K, and everyone loves her, and they want more of her. I just can't remember her name. It's like Kathy. No, that's not an Amazonian name. That's horrible. It's a comic strip.
Yeah, it's the toga.
So
It's funny.
so okay, yeah, because I gotta get the base mods. I put the tier 7 mods on my gear. Karen, thank you, Ticken. It's Karen. I knew it started with a K. I knew it. Karen and I do not talk. Okay, we just don't talk. I don't remember speaking to her a lot during Amazon Fury. But so what was I about to say? Gotta get the base mods. So yeah, once I get the mods, I'll be fine. I'll be straight.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I do too. I have a second character that has strictly just Tunzo testing. That's it.
Now with the Tunzo testing character, did you get to the stats where specifically that he has on the post, or did you just get like a roundabout?
Yes and no. Precision, I got it right on the nail, 4887. The might one, and this happened to other testers too. We couldn't get to, I think it's 104.23. We can only get 104.26. Not a big difference, but might one is hard to crack down for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not exact either on my side. It's really close though.
Okay, because I mean, and they just released the tier 7 mods for the testers in our testing box, so I put a bunch of those precision mods on, and even like the precision health, because I was just like, I need to mod everything else. Oh, let's just throw shit in there. Didn't really even put the might in because I didn't care, but it's okay. So I might have to remod, but that's okay.
This skill points too. I've noticed that sometimes I've had to go over 160 just to get to that precision. But once you get that precision, you should be fine. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm testing rage. All I need is precision, anyways. That's all I need. Screw might. So let's come over here and look at our suggestion coming here from Jacob. Let me find. Where is that? There it is. Nope, wrong one. This one? There it is. Yay. I forgot where I had to click. So, Jacob Dragon Hunter. I've seen him all over the forums. Pretty straight up dude. So he has a suggestion here. So there are some exclusive missions that we can't do as heroes and some we can't do as villains. Now, I get the argument that some missions should remain exclusive, but from my perspective, if they wanted it to remain exclusive, then the Hall of Doom and Watchtower shouldn't have been cross-queuable LPVE maps. And we shouldn't be able to help Lex Luthor in the Nexus if we are heroes, and villains shouldn't be able to help out Batman. This happened during the Nexus LPVE. So examples include the Riddler's Hideout, which heroes can only do, Sentinels and Magic, villain only, and then Brother Blood being hero only, and Old Star Labs being villain only. So basically, I was thinking about the idea of letting all of the faction exclusive content be available for both sides. Since we can only do some of this with LPVE, I don't see why we can't just do this regularly with our own heroes and villains and not have to play as iconics. So, Soups, how do you feel about that suggestion?
Well, what exactly is the purpose of it, though? I mean, I understand, these instances, but what is exactly the purpose of opening them up for cross-faction?
See, I guess just to have more content. I mean, at the same time, as a hero, being able to go into Sentinel of Magic, that would be kind of cool because it is new content for a hero's eyes who's never played a villain. But I do agree. I'm kind of on the fence about this because in LPVE, it's just a simulation. So that's what we are, is we're just simulating these characters into this atmosphere. It's not something that a hero needs to go into a villain-only instance to do stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Harley, what do you think about it?
I don't think they should do that. And then there's got to be a reason to play each faction. Otherwise, just do away with them, honestly. I mean, that's why a lot of us have alts on each side so we can experience the story and each mentor the same way. And that's what I did to get the whole story on the whole game, was to have just multiple characters.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's not a bad idea. I get where he's coming from, having just open all the content to both factions and just have at the. And like I said, it does bring in a new content eyes to players who have never played the opposite faction and gotten to run it. But in the spirit of LPVE, Legends PvE is able to be cross-faction because it's not just a hero or a villain. We are basically running a simulation. We're not actually running real content for our characters. And at the same time, I do miss, as a hero, I do miss just having, hero-specific instance and villain-specific instances. Which, I mean, basically, Hand of Fate. We each had our own separate instances, and I wish DCUO still had the resources to pull that together. But it is what it is, and hopefully with Xbox can bring in some more money, and we'll be swimming in more stuff later this year, or in the future. So, just gotta be swimming. So thank you, Jacob, for the suggestion. It's probably not what you want to hear, and I'm sorry. And I do apologize that we didn't get that asked this last week, so I do sincerely apologize for that. So I'm going to switch it over here to a test server hotfix. Came out today. So for game update 58, for powers for Celestial. Don't hold your breath, people. While in healer role, Divine Light and Corrupted Divine Light will again heal NPC allies if they touch one of the glyphs. This does not stack with other Celestial players. The caster will no longer purify themselves instead of enemies, and will once again get a glyph at the original cast position. While in healer role, Divine Light will no longer deal advanced mechanic levels of damage when not doing the advanced mechanics. So what I heard from that is Celestial heroes or Celestial healers can heal the NPC allies, so we can go back into Halls of Power Part 2, summon up an ally, and heal them up while villains try to stop them. That's all I got from that. Let's do it. Love it. Next, and we'll be talking about this stuff in a little bit. For Rage for Revenge, made some minor animation adjustments to improve the aesthetic feel of the combo. And then Munitions, tuning pass on Munitions advanced mechanic damage. For episode 22, the duo Science Spire. Wait, what? Maps. Science Spire is the solo.
Oops.
Well, that's what it said. Well, it says duo up there, but then he says fix an issue in the Science Spire solo, where boss fight music does not stop after the player victory. But is this okay? This is for update 50. Okay, this is for the test server. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's the test server stuff.
All right.
Yeah. Let me actually go straight to the forums because we have to talk about the live server that came out. We have to. So, on the live server, episode 21, 8-player Operation Prison Break. Dr. Light's tail will display for 1 second before he does his spin attack. And then fixed an issue with Dr. Light's spin attack where it would hit twice. Episodes 19 and 20. Players that own episode 19 and or 20 but do not own 18 will now correctly get a chance to pick base items, R&D items, generator mods, or an extra mark from the solo, duo, and alert missions. Congratulations, Jareth. For power, for mental, Grandeur will once again allow your character to move around while it's playing its animation. And then mail, fix an issue where mail with attachments cannot be delivered to characters that had not logged in since the last server restart. Boom! Thank you, for the love of God. Now we can just mail all the things. All of it. Thank you.
Yeah, now I don't have to log my mules in every day.
Right? Oh, it's so bad. It's just so bad. So that's it for your server hotfix for this week. It really has been just a little bit of a slow week. I mean, February is not like it's the best month for gaming. Neither is January, technically. But March is coming up, and March is a good month for gaming. It's going to be a good month for DCUO too. So, as a little recap real fast, the Valentine's Day event does end on the 29th of February. So be sure to hit that up, finish that up if you can in the next week or two, or actually in the next 10 days. Haha. And then the spring event, St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day is coming back. My Celtic style, I'm going to rock it out once again this year because it's like the best. It's just the best. So, cannot wait. That should be hopefully hitting up on the test servers probably in the next week or so. Hopefully. So, all right. So, I have our special guest here because we're going to talk about test server. We're going to talk about the Munitions and Rage. The mid-range changes going on, and let me actually pull up the notes real fast while we have those. So, just really fast, out of the mid-range, Munitions and Rage, which one of the two are you having more fun with testing?
Rage, my opinion.
And trying to find, oh, there's notes. Okay, so got the notes right here. There. So, and I'll be hopping on the test server in just a moment to look at cool things. So with Rage, let's start with Munitions first, because Munitions, I played the Munitions character from 1 to level 30. Really fun. Railguns is OP as all get out. And that's all I really. That's all I ever did. That's all I ever did. Just hit my Rambo.
It penetrates
bandana.
all the enemies. So yeah, that's great.
I think it was you, Harlequin, right, that pointed out that it was an issue with railguns. Oh God, when I tested that, my eyes I flipped out. I was like, what?
But yeah, from long range, it was. I think I saw double numbers, but then they verified that it was double hitting at certain areas. But yeah, it was silly numbers. It's like I need to get back on tonight and check it. So they said adjusted AM damage. So hopefully we're back in line.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, I saw the numbers. I saw the graphs. I think Rokyn, you posted today, or actually it was like page 2, so it was a while ago. And I definitely saw like the one of the attacks was like just double everything else, and even my eyes are like, that's not right. That can't be right. That's insanely weird.
Exactly. And then some powers couldn't even when they would activate, they would stay on cooldown. Which forced me to use railguns. I would have used something else. So I'm like, what's going on here? I'm trying to activate a power and it's like on cooldown.
So
yeah, I hope that's like even this morning, the very first power you use would get stuck, and I have to back out and get out of combat before it would reset.
And then delete your log and then write your log up again. Oh God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know the first day of testing, one of my remorseless recovery, because I run with RR on live, so I had to play with it on test as well, just because survivability, even against a sparring target, survivability, you never know when they're going to hit back, and it stayed like on cooldown for the longest time, and then it finally reset. I'm like, oh well, thank you for showing up to the party. So, and that's probably one of the things that really bugs me about Rage players, that they don't use RR, but we'll get into that later. So, for Munitions, what is the loadout that you guys have had the most success with in mid-range?
I mean, I just started running through different combinations of 3 powers, and basically they all seem that they include 50 cal. They were up there. Otherwise, about the same between 36 and 39 were for everything.
Yeah, it seems like, since they're all channeling powers, same here. I didn't really see much of a difference. I was trying to look into 50 cal. Some people were saying it was better to channel and not use 50 cal. 50 cal is like a single burst, and then it has a burning DLT. Burning DLT that does nothing, but the single burst it does is strong. But I don't know. Yeah. When I was looking to it, like it's same thing as Harlequin said. They were all doing about the same amount of damage. Yeah, I like using the 50 cal because the 50 cal is like a single burst, and like when you're fighting ads and stuff, and that one registers, that shows pretty good on the scorecard. That's a whole nother topic, whole scoreboard chasing, but yeah. So, but yeah.
But 50 cal on live isn't very impressive, but right now the channels do more total damage in 2 seconds, but on test server now it's really close to like chain guns and rocket launcher.
Okay.
But the problem is 50 cal being a all or nothing power. If it doesn't crit, it's bad, but if it crits, it's wonderful.
That's true. Yeah.
So, Harley, what is the loadout that you use? Because I mean, if you're only using 3 powers, what are the other ones?
Well, that's the way the AM was designed. You had to channel 3 to activate the bullet frenzy, and then you couldn't repeat them. It was always 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, right? Well, they did something on test server, apparently. So where now you can channel the 2 long casts, 5-barrel minigun and railguns, and as long as you use a single target power in the middle, like explosion or any of the other ones, flat cannon, you only need those 2, and then the single, and then the timing works perfectly. I don't think I like it. It feels like a cheat, but okay. So like on live, and Ruma disagreed with me on this one, which is fine because there were a couple that did higher damage, but it felt smooth. I used 5-barrel, then rocket launcher, then railguns, and those are my 3 bullet frenzy powers. And then I have explosion on my bar, and I have a killer instinct on my bar, and the other power varies depending on what we're doing. I'll have 50 cal on there if I'm going to stay long range. Other things just to mess around with, but testing really. There really isn't any difference. I mean, if you want to be like the space age hero, you can put railgun, particle gun, and one of the other ones on there. Rocket launchers, for example, and you can look like Adam Strange with your finned hat and be a space cowboy. Or if you want to look like Rambo, you can use the old painless minigun and chain gun, and I mean you can do anything now. It's kind of nice.
Okay, Rokyn, what is your loadout looking like for munitions?
So for mid-range, I got the personal buff, killer instincts. I was using railguns, but it's bugged. Railguns, rocket launcher, 50 cal, and then the 2 other loadout spots were just free spots. So you can have like a super in there. You can have, if you're melee, you can use explosion, and then. If I were to take railguns out, I would use chain gun. So I basically used the loadout Roomba had because I don't know munitions too much. I know how to play it, but I'm not an expert or anything on it. But I did that. I rotated 3 powers the same way as Harlequin on mid-range and range, and then but for melee it was a little different. But I don't know if you want to talk about that yet. I don't know. So.
Well, we can switch it over to melee, sure. Because I mean. As much as we're doing mid-range adjustments is including melee as well. So let's switch it over to melee. So what's your melee loadout look like?
So for melee, I have the same 3 powers: railguns, rocket launcher, 50 cal, and then I included explosion. So like the AM, it has like a 4-second timer. So when you go into combat, and then in combat it's like 1.5 seconds. So you can get a head start if you clip explosion with killer instincts, and then go into your 3 channels, and then I think by the 2nd channel you should have AM damage. So I did that, and Now I've been reading in the testing thread that a lot of people were debating that you shouldn't use 50 cal and explosion, because of the damage loss. I wasn't sure about that. I still did it regardless, and I mean it was inaccurate because of the fact that railguns is like bugged. But I used that. It was pretty nice because you can clip in explosion and it registers for the AM damage.
Okay. What about you, Harley?
Same thing. I still like 50 cal because of the boom, but the crit thing is, so yeah, explosion, killer instinct. For testing, because I had a debate. There's somebody that's been going on the forums. He really is upset about the first 10 seconds of combat, right? And nobody can hit this number in the first 10 seconds. That's why we lose on trash. So, for testing, I was starting my rotation with chain grenade launcher clipped with killer instinct to get burning started, because a lot of the channels have increased damage against burning targets. So you can hit the target number right away. Like as soon as you press your first channel, you're going to hit it. So for testing, I was doing that. In live, I don't think I would do that. Hopefully there's a fire tune there. So in my melee range, I like 5-barrel minigun. I like railguns. And then I would switch it up on the last one. Rocket launcher typically is the other one I would use. I really like that. It's a smooth rotation for me. But nowadays, it's like you can mix things up. And the note on chain gun, the reason I don't like using that, the damage is pretty good, but it splits on objects. So if you're in an instance that has a lot of boxes and crates and stuff, it's like it does really bad damage, and you'll get target locked on objects with it, which sucks. So
That's interesting. I didn't know that. Huh. Oh.
Yeah,
That's a deal breaker.
it blows up the vault with a quickness, though.
Okay, that's true. It really does. And I see Brittany has joined us.
That though. Trex could use that though.
I could. I really could.
The vault one shots Trex.
Well, when you put a bunch of Luthers in there, it certainly does. We call that hacks. All the hacks. So, Britt, how was your prison break there?
It was alright. I got the elite waves from God, so I'm happy. I'm done with all elite pieces on my healer.
Excellent.
Now to my next alt.
Cool. We have, because you're now joining us, we have Harley and Rokyn here talking. We're basically talking about munitions right now. They're gonna switch over to Rage, talking about everything that's going on in the test server right now. So
Rage.
Yes, Rage. Oh my God, so good.
Yes, Rage.
Wait, did you already talk about Rage?
No, we haven't gotten there yet. I was waiting for you.
Oh yes. Sweet.
Sips, do you have any questions about munitions?
Does it look better?
It looks the same. Yeah, you still have the cheesy green pulse. Yeah.
Yeah.
That everybody hates.
It's always been my thing with munitions. It just doesn't. It just doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right. Like I said a while back, I was like, if they had gone inspired by Blue Beetle, I think it would look fantastic. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of munitions because of the way it looks.
I could honestly do without the pulsing green migraine aura. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Why is that still there? They should just have the bandana, right? Because the bandana, does it change colors based on your palette, right?
Based off makeup, yeah.
Makeup, okay. Huh.
Yeah, they could have done a number of other things instead of the pulsing thing, like ammo belts or something that show up when you're bullet frenzied.
Yeah, the thing with munitions testing is just it came out just bugged. Now that it's fixed, you probably know what I'm gonna do tomorrow is just test it out and. But I want to echo what Harlequin said. There's more options, and you end up doing the same damage, which is nice for people. You pick how you want to play. You just got to make sure you do your damage.
So, and of course, let's switch it over to the range loadout. Because, DPS is range. Everyone doesn't understand what this melee DPS is. It's frustrating. So with the range loadout for munitions, does really anything change coming from mid-range to range?
Not really. No.
Not really. No.
Nah.
Are you still seeing? Because we all know when you're range, you're getting the least amount of damage. So is that true? The fact, besides the bug with railguns, besides that bug, because Jesus Christ, oh, hopefully,
they fixed that yesterday. I think it was. I was able to do a few range parses after the fix for rails, and it was still hitting 32k at range, so it was still high. I'm hoping the adjustments today. I'm gonna do some parsing after we're done here, and I'm gonna hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, I think going from mid-range to range, you can keep the same loadout. You can keep doing the same channels. Only thing that changes is it's literally, think of it like a multiplier. Like if you go, let's say you start at baseline, okay, times 1, 10 times 1, what? Okay, makes it simple. Hold on. When you get into mid-range, you do twice the damage, and then you get melee, third of the damage. So really, what's changing for you is just doing a little less damage than what you did before. So you can keep the same loadout, in my opinion, for range.
I agree with that.
I think the nice thing with the spec too is with munitions is if you're, because big gun works on trash ads. Let's say you're doing SM and you're trying to play a little bit more support and help out the group. You can have the shielding supercharge. That helps too. And then if you have a 6 slot, if you're range and you're not using explosion, you can pop in something in there that can help the group out.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, everyone can say that munitions is gadgets 2.0, atomic is fire 3.0. It's whatever. The one thing I love about munitions is really just the idea, because of the bandana, because I love Rambo, I love just and I'm not like an NRA guy. I'm not even a gun guy, but I can go with munitions. Blail railgun, and with the Rambo headband just pulsating on me, just let's shoot stuff. Let's pew. So, and we finally officially have a pew pew power. That's all the guns do is pew pew.
Up, it's fun.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how the AM works. You just channel, pew pew pew.
Yeah, just smash mini nuke every day you got. Just mini nuke, mini nuke, mini nuke. That's all I do.
Oh man, at launch, that was so annoying in the watchtower though, because these things were going off all over the place. But it is nice because the damage debuff is on mini nuke, so when I troll, I get to drop it all the time.
I wanted to point something out with the update. They did the 3-second grace period, which was, they did it for light and they did it for rage. Very helpful for munitions. Oh
yeah, I'm loving that. Absolutely.
Wait, munitions got that too?
Yes.
Oh god, I missed that.
Yeah, you used to have to be super quick with the breakout. It did not break it, and even then it didn't work all the time. But yeah, now it's going to be wonderful.
And then in combat, if let's say you go pick somebody up, when you go back into your channeling, if the moment you start a trade power, you have 1.5 seconds, and then after 1.5 seconds elapses, AM damage kicks in. Again, perfect for setup time. Fine there, pretty good. Celestial needs that too. I'm joking.
So I also see down here they removed the damage restrictions, allowing for full advanced mechanic damage and controller role. Have you guys gotten a chance to play a controller in the controller role and try and use the AMs?
We don't really use any of the channels when you're trolling. That's the problem.
I didn't get to try that out yet, and I was looking at it. Too many channels. Isn't one of defense debuffs? Isn't it channel 2? I forget.
I can't. I think one of the channels have one of the debuffs, but I've never even looked at them because I've been using it the way I've been using it for so long. I'll look into that again, but they'd have to move some of the debuffs to the channels, or else it really isn't worth doing.
Yeah, I'm looking at right. I got the last rocket launcher, and no one uses that. I mean, so the guts tree kind of had. I mean, the 5-barrel minigun is a controller debuff. That reduces enemy defenses. And then the grenade launcher doesn't do one. Mini nuke does reduce target damage and removes damage roll buffs. Let me see, for glory, nope. Explosion definitely does not. Flat cannon does actually. Let's see, control roll stuns and removes targets debuff. So it looks like some do and some don't. That's gonna be a trouble.
Yeah, 5-barrel was the only channel in that list of powers, though. Unfortunately.
I'm thinking in my head, a way it could work is I don't think you can solo troll it like that. Just put that out there. But like in an alert, I think you can pull it off. Like maybe not. I don't know. The debuff shield that for pickups, not debuff. I'm sorry, the detaunt that one activates the AM, right? Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, it does.
Okay, so if you have that and you need 3 channels, you kind of have to play. And then if you have 3 channels and then a pot and then a reload. Yeah, it's tough. I would have to test it out actually. I don't know.
Yeah, you'd have to have pot on one of the channels, I think, in order to make it work, because you could clip reload with survival instincts, and yeah, that would be with a lot of the channels do knock down and push back and stun too, so that might be useful as a troller.
So if you think about 3 channels, then you have the survival. I think that's the name of it, and then you got pot and then reload. Reload. So that's 6 spots. If you're gonna do it in a raid, you might want to have a second controller to give you power, and then in alert you can just do it by yourself. That should be fine.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not sure.
Right off the bat, 5-barrel minigun, it activates bullet frenzy, and it also does reduce enemy defenses. So if you're gonna do the AM within your controller role, 5-barrel minigun is gonna have to be there. But in the guts tree, I'm trying to find the one that reduces the damage for DPS, and I found the one for heal, reduces ability to heal, which that's PvP all the way, because no one ever does that. No boss.
No, you can use that. You can use that in PvE also.
Do you know
there's
boss?
Not many, but some.
Not many. I know, like the Cerberus, Halls of Hades, and Halls of Hades. That's a good boss fight to use the heal debuff on. You can actually use the heal debuff on the spheres in PB in Prison Break also.
Okay.
Well, the healing debuff, it reduces heals coming in, so it would be to Dr. Light.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But I never tested it, but if that works there, then that's perfect. Yeah. I think what makes the battle trolling thing with munitions, and even if you look at gadgets and stuff, it's a little tough because you don't have the regen, but you also have to restrict your loadout a lot towards that. It's more of a, I would say more in a case if you're gonna be like with another troller, or if an alert. I think an alert you can pull it off because you don't need that much for an alert. So.
Yeah, so looking over the tree, the only one that does a debuff and activates bullet frenzy is 5-barrel minigun. It is the 5-barrel. So that's the only controller debuff you're looking at doing the controller roll. The other two abilities
it's one
are
of the
just
longer channels as well.
Yeah. And at the same time, I don't think the devs are going to go back and mess with the other powers to make them to switch stuff around so we have one tree that can actually do debuffs and does bullet frenzy. So you're looking at a really tough loadout for this for a controller, but I could definitely see that being later in the testing, probably, especially for me, because I love playing my roles, and if I'm going to play a role and I have the chance to use my advanced mechanic, I'm going to try my best to see what I can do. But here's the thing as well. If you're using your advanced mechanics in your support role, your number one duty is to steal support. You are not to focus too much on DPS. That's why I feel people are definitely going to be missing.
And also this goes with the update when they updated the instant and power interaction damage for those powers. Those are all burst powers. When burst power that should give a big hint to weapon mastery. They're gonna update weapons soon, and if they add the whole melee mid-range thing to the weapons, and then you have those burst powers that got the increase, you can look at something for like a battle trolling using weapon mastery because they did the update for that. They every update they've been updating the burst powers, and it's a big hint to weapon mastery, and as I see it, you know.
I certainly hope you're right. I mean, when ICE was
Hopefully.
on test, was my wish and my hope was that weapon mastery would be viable again when they buffed all the burst, but not yet. Because gust spam is so boring.
I will second that because I got to play with it a little bit and learn the advanced mechanic, and I'm like, this is it. Why do people love this? This is horrible.
We don't love it. It's just what we have to do.
Exactly.
It's work.
So let's switch it over for Brittany, just for Brittany. Let's switch it over to some Rage talk. Rage. And for those people who are joining us late, Horace, we have two players from the test from the forums. They were given some great feedback I saw in the Munitions and Rage thread, so I wanted them on the show to talk about it. We have Harlequin and Rokyn. Say hello again because Horace is late.
Hi guys.
Hello, Horace.
The guest even called you out. So, Rage. I don't even know where to begin. Let's first start. We're going to start from the bottom up. So we're going to start with range. With raid range. Now you guys have done all the testing for all the three placements. I have not. I have been focusing heavily on melee. I want melee to be impactful and survivable. But I can't test survival on sparring targets, so that's another issue. So let's talk about our range loadout. What are you finding to be which loadout are you looking at?
So for me, when I started looking into it, okay, obviously you start off with Dreadful Blast, like your only option. Then you have your attack. Yeah, now the thing is that they added a additional effect with Plasma Wrench, so now it adds a second DOT when in Savage state. Now dots and rage is not gonna make a difference. It's literally vanilla damage. It's complementary damage. It's not a big part of your damage, but that's a nice little thing, you know. It makes the rotation a little bit more engaging, I would say. So you have that, and then you have Bloodlust. And honestly, the rest of the loadout is kind of like up to you. There's the super that gives you the weapon debuff. No, debuff. I'm sorry, weapon buff, and then I forgot the name of it. Brittany, which one's that one? No, the other one, the other super.
Infuriate.
Oh, the buff?
Oh,
Infuriate.
One, yeah.
You can use that one like at far range. And so I just in my rotation, you just spam Dreadful Blast and you clip it. And you can clip in Retch and jump cancel it. Makes it pretty fun. But I'm gonna test later on what happens if I don't use Retch, because really it's just vanilla damage. It's not that much damage. So it sets up the PI for you, but again, yeah. So that's what I'm looking at.
Okay, what about you, Harley?
To be completely honest, I haven't done anything with Rage on test. I mean, I set up a tune and started to get back in the groove of it, but I went back to Munitions. So.
That's okay.
I just haven't played it in so long. Anything I had wouldn't be appropriate. I just don't know what I'm doing with it anymore.
That's okay. Most people who play Rage don't know either. Take me, for example. I crash constantly. I know the mechanic, but I do it on purpose at this point in my life. And I hold no regrets. I crash with a purpose to make my healers squeal.
It's not just your crashing, though, dude. I mean, you let staff using bosses farm blues off of you.
Well, god damn it, I'm not... Yes, it happened. Yes, Necron definitely farmed some blues off of me. That's
I'm
true.
serious.
Wait, did he have a blue when he was doing the staff spin?
Yes.
Yes. Brittany, you have no idea. I have never seen a boss flash blue for so long.
Oh, then just let Wyatt tank for you.
I mean, I'm standing there tanking. He's on me. I just feel like blocking. Damn it.
So basically, you're Bizarro tank. Instead of you getting blues, he gets blues.
I'll be happy if I'm
That's
white.
fine.
I'll be happy if I'm white. So, all right. So
it was funny though. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, Soups was definitely yelling at me. It's like, why is he blinking blue?
I'm like, well, it wasn't me at first. I think it was Tiny. It was like, damn, you stop giving him blues, Trex. And you're like, I'm not. And I'm like, dude, he is like fucking flashing this whole time.
Well, it doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter if he's flashing blue. You ain't doing anything to him.
Well, it kind of does when he does a staff spin and kills like 3 people, so...
Well, no one's around him.
Well, the whole group is kind of around him, so...
He hit everything. I don't care. You know what? Fine. I'm just gonna raise melee DPS the entire time now. Screw tanking. I'm done.
Well, according to you, that's
Blame
the
that on
only
the
way you got
Fury.
your belt.
Alright, so yes, for range, you're basically still relying heavily on Dreadful Blast. Have you gotten a chance to really use, like, Rage Blast or Rage Bringer, any other actual range ability?
No, any deviation from the comboing just lowers your DPS. It's all your damage comes from the combos, just straight up combos, from the Dreadful Blast combos. So unfortunately, yeah, you can't mix and match like that. Now you can play around with Plasma Rich. That's there now, but yeah, unfortunately it's a little restricted. So
That's one of the things I actually got really frustrated with Rage was because I played Quantum, I've played Ice. What was another DPS? I actually did Hardlight for a little bit, but that was a range spec, and of course it didn't do much damage. But I mean, when I looked at my Rage stuff, I was like, cool. I have to have these 3 abilities or just buffs, and I have 3 attacks. Technically 2, because I don't really need a 3rd combo, because that's just outrageous, because the other 2, the cooldowns are so freaking short, I can just go back and forth with them. And that frustrated me, because I wanted to do more attacks and everything. Instead of just spamming Outrage and Eviscerate Chain till the day goes blind.
well, the thing is doesn't Tunzo always say that it's the nature of the power is to be melee? That power set Rage, it's
Yes.
so it's a he said it. It's a berserker type of power. I can't argue with the way the power's made. You know, I can't do much, but yeah. So, but honestly, believe it or not, some people love clipping Dreadful Blast over and over again. They find that really fun. You know.
And that's the thing I don't understand when people are like, you're not supposed to melee in raids. Then why is there a power that's specifically centered around meleeing? Like,
Correct.
What?
Correct.
Like, get out of here.
That
I'm not going to sit here and say that you're not supposed to melee in raids
Here it comes.
for when you're DPSing. I'm not going to say you're not supposed to. I'm just saying I don't like it when you do. And I'm tanking. That's all I'm going to say on it.
Nexus
the people
was great fun as a raid
Oh.
team. Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
used to- Me and
Oh,
Elite,
yes.
we always meleeed the Lexes in the first room. It was hilarious to see who would die first.
Honestly, when people say rage, like when not even Harley, rage melee doesn't work in content. I kind of just get like tingly. I'm like, no, you have to. It depends on variables. There's variables going on in the raid. It's the boss if he does cone attacks. you're in all the way. That's perfect for you. Dr. Light round 9 SM, that was a perfect time of melee. If you got the tank positioning, you know, the boss's back is on you. That's perfect. If you're grabbing when you're doing the melee combos, you might grab blues. That gives you some mitigation. You have sidekicks, you have henchmen you can use. You have rage mode. I didn't even touch about that. Yeah, rage mode is like the biggest part. You can heal yourself when you're DPS, and that's a huge advantage to other power sets. I know there's a difference between 7 meters and 8 meters, but if you're gonna heal yourself, and you can cancel it. Now there's a 2-second window because of the cooldown. No, 4-second window because you have 8 seconds of rage mode, and then 12 seconds when you refresh your buffs. But anyway, yeah, just that gets me a little. I don't like when people say it's not possible, because it is possible. It's just you have to find your ways around it. I always point to the video Brittany made way back in Bombshells. You know, it depends on different things. You know.
There's a skill cap there, but yeah, you can definitely.
Yeah, you can't go on there blindly and just melee everything. I mean, you gotta kind of know when you can and when you can't. But
and that goes with the mechanics. If you gotta know the mechanics, you know, the boss mechanics, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, F Lion Claw. I hate her. Because it was my first. It was truly my first time. Because I was told that you can melee DPS in Bombshell. That's what the developer said. And of course, I'm going to take it to heart, and I'm a melee person, so yeah, let's do it. So walked right in there, and of course I've tanked Lion Claw a bunch of times, so I know what she's going to do. And that's what made more fear of me melee DPSing in there, was she is going to wreck me so hard. So and a bunch of times I had to stop DPSing and I had to reposition. I had to be behind her. I had to drop out and then run back in and watch out for the bombs. And thank God I can heal myself. And that's where Remorseless Recovery really came in handy, because I had double the heals, or triple the heals really, for everything, so I can make sure I can live. Survivability, that is key.
What's the name of it? Hold on. You have Severe Punishment and then Relentless Anger. Relentless Anger, you mentioned Remorseless is really good because it heals you, you know, to 1-on-1 ratio. I think it's cap too, but Relentless does the same thing. It heals you for the damage you do, and it's a rage mode activated at the same time. So like you just said, you have powers there to use to keep yourself, you know, healed. So
yeah, Relentless Anger is going to give you heals with damage that you get, like it's done to you, but it also redirects that damage as damage back to the enemy. Not at a 1-on-1. It's a little bit lower, but that's where Remorseless Recovery comes in with RR. The damage that you do, the damage you perform. I'm a child. Shut up. The damage that you perform with RR active will turn into heals for yourself as well. So if I am going to take damage from a boss, I'm going to get healed from it. But I'm also going to get healed for the damage that I perform on the boss. So those are two great heals. And that's where I'm really trying to figure out with other rage melee DPS who have tried it. Because I have actually never seen another rage DPS. Maybe it's because I'm always with me and my friends or the league, and no one else tries it, or no one else does it. I really haven't been in open queue and have never seen another rage DPS before. I think we're just like a scarce populace.
Get on tonight and run with Crappy on his ult. Crappy tried rage melee DPS and Grundy the other night, and it didn't work out too well.
Oh my God, you poor soul.
That's tough.
Dude was dying all over the place, man. I'm like, Crappy, just stop, dude.
Just no, I'm not gonna stop. I could do this. Dies again. God damn it, Crappy. But hey, look, here's the thing. If it's not Crappy, it was gonna be me. So either way, we're gonna get yelled at.
Did he melee Superboy and Necron later on?
I think he was trying to, but I don't. But no,
'Cause-
he opted out of doing that.
Cause I made a video, and I know it's different power set Harlight, but I did it with Harlight, and it was doable with Super Bowl. It's just Grundy sucks.
Yeah,
Just like Brittany said, it's that
No,
ground
I
pound.
know. I'm pretty positive he didn't try to melee Necron when we were in there because he didn't want to be like Trex and put the black hole underneath the tank.
I did not. Okay, one, I did not see the animation, and two, it definitely was my fault because I still had my camera zoomed all the way out like I was a tank, and I now need to have, if I'm going to melee DPS, I need to bring that camera further into me so I can see crap on me, so I can't get the hell out. So, again, sorry, Tiny, my bad. Total my bad, but hey, we survived.
Yeah, I don't think Tiny was nearly as upset about as the other thing that happened with that raid though. So,
but hey, you know the rewards from Rage Melee DPS and Necron, though. You know it.
yeah.
It's good. So how about the mid-range loadout for Rage? Because I know one thing changes.
Go ahead and say what the changes.
Apparently, Galling Eruption over Plasma Reg?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm glad you're
Yes.
here, because
Yes.
I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Because Galling Eruption does not get the extra dot. It doesn't get the extra damage. So why are we choosing Galling Eruption over Plasma?
Did you see that post I made with when I compared the dots and I did the base numbers on them?
Was it the
thing is
original
this.
thread that got deleted?
Yeah. No. It's a new one. I have to look for it. Jeez, it's like page 4, page 3, whatever. I posted about it. Here's the thing: you can clip a Galling. You have to jump cancel.
Plasma.
God.
Yeah, that
Wretch.
freaking dovetail.
Yeah, wretch. and it really I mean I have the logs. I actually pulled them up right now. They both gave me the same average at mid range. I got 33K for each one. The reason some people, I'm gonna say you could use either one. Some people are gonna say Galling because you can just clip it. You're still gonna get the same parses as long as you're doing, you're clipping your combos. So really, you can use either Wretch or Galling. Galling registers at 13 meters, so you can do that. If you plan on getting a little closer, there's not that much of a damage difference. Like there's not a clear one better in my opinion that I saw in my parses. So
Yeah,
But-
Crappy
but
saying the same
that's-
thing. Yeah, he's saying that it's not about the damage; it's about the speed.
it's about the speed, and that's the thing. I think somebody later on, and they quoted me and they said that they couldn't clip it as fast and they were getting low numbers. It's based on how fast you're clipping that combo. That's where you get your damage from. So really, the dot is like think of ice cream, and then you put a cherry on the top. The dot is the cherry on the top. So, ice cream
what
or
if you
cake?
don't like
I don't know,
cherries,
whatever.
I'm not. I mean, I'll have a cherry, but if it's a preference, I would not have the cherry. Now I want a milkshake.
But,
God damn it.
I know, right? Seriously. But if you were to tell me the difference between the dots, if you jump cancel Wretch, it does more damage in Savage State. If you're not in Savage State, Gallon's the better one. But really, it's no difference. So.
Okay. And that's literally the one thing I wanted to ask, because I kept reading the threads, and I'm just like, why are we choosing Galling instead of Plasma? What is this? We could do much. We have an extra dot with Plasma. We should be able to do this.
It's because you can clip it, yeah. That's why.
But yes,
and some people,
yeah.
and Crappy says something that I actually like that he said a lot. It was, and you said it. You just said it now. The dovetail for Wretch, that's a little. It's a little. Not, I want to say it's buggy. It's not as responsive, and I mean you lose about like a millisecond there compared to the clip. The clip. So really, yeah, it's up to personal preference. I did both just to show both, and they both ended up the same DPS. I do want to point something out. There will be people using Relentless Anger. Relentless Anger does damage, according to the damage breakdown, and that's, I don't know if you kept up with today's post. That's for skewing numbers because it's making Dreadful OP as heck.
Is it?
It's additional damage on top. So if you're doing it at 7 meters, you're doing melee damage with Dreadful, and that's not intended. So when Tunzo looks at that, he's gonna. I hope he doesn't nerf Dreadful, but he deals with Relentless Anger, because that's what's skewing numbers. Because earlier I was trying to do Galeen, Bloodlust, and Dreadful, and it wasn't until I added Relentless Anger that I started getting higher parses. What's going on here, right? And in one of my graphs, thanks to DCUOlog.com, you can see the breakdown. Relentless Anger is doing damage, and it's like 10% of the overall damage, and that's a difference. So,
and this was using Dreadful Blast at melee range.
At melee range, and like I said, I did it without Relentless, and I got mid-range averages, and I did it with Relentless, and then I got the melee averages. I was like, what? So I thought it was Dreadful that was changing between the ranges 7 and 13 and far, but it wasn't that. So very interesting.
So was Relentless Anger still doing damage even at range, even at max range?
Not at max. I was getting it at 13 meters.
Oh,
for some reason. Oh, you're trying to go for max.
Well,
This guy.
what? Well, I mean, just asking. I mean, in all honesty, as a preference, I will always want to be max range from a boss to do DPS. Even on my rage, I was one of those people spamming Dreadful Blast, having 3 buffs going and spamming and going with it. So now that I know Relentless Anger doesn't do anything at range, it's like, well, fudge that noise then. So, all right. And before we go into the melee range stuff, I want to bring up in the mid range. Have you tried using Frenzy, Tunzo's #1 favorite power, in mid range?
I did 2 tests. I did a 0 meters test, and then I went back to 13 meters. And at 13 meters, it's more like 10 meters. You have to get a little closer to for him to swipe down with the animation.
Yeah.
It's not doing baseline damage. At melee, it's doing 25k. That's about 10k less of the baseline. And then at mid range, I got the same thing, 25k. I keep asking him about it. I know the power. I know a lot of people don't like that power, but it's there. It's another option. There's other people that use it. Who knows who uses it, and it wasn't doing enough damage. So
yeah, I first day even looking at Frenzy, I'm like, all right, well, let me take a look at all these combo powers and using Frenzy. I was like, whoa, crap! I have to time myself on how many melee attacks I do, and then I use a weapon by mistake. Thank you, 3 seconds, by the way. Woo! So great. But using Frenzy for me was kind of clunky because I never really used it before, so it's trying to use it. And I tried to stay at mid range, but you're right. The last combo hit makes you go forward.
Yes.
And I hate that.
Yeah, it's very clumsy. You gotta clip that 6 combo, and it's just like, I'm getting closer. Now you can be very fast and clip it, but and if you notice the ticks, every single individual tick, and it's not doing really full AM damage. The AM damage comes in at the last one, so that's why it's getting such low parses. And I keep telling Tunzo, you gotta scale it. You gotta make sure even the taps do damage. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the big hitter. So anyway, hopefully they get that fixed.
Do people actually use that though?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe.
I can't imagine anybody actually meleeing just using Frenzy. I don't know, man. Like I can understand in the past, like before, I don't know what update it was, but Frenzy was parsing like super high. But that's the only time I ever saw that it was like a viable option in a loadout. So
apparently I accidentally DC'd from the test server. So, and now because we're getting actually into melee, I can actually pull out my melee combo. Yay!
Good.
For God's sakes, Catmon, get out of here! Get out of my screen. So he's still following. So with melee, so the melee loadout that I have, let me actually pull it up. So right now for my testing, I have Bloodlust, Relentless Anger, Plasma Wretch, Revenge, Outrage, and Eviscerating Chain. Apparently, I have to switch out Plasma Wretch and put Galling Eruption. Give that testing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Will do.
Yeah, I would say for melee use Galling 100% of the time, just because you can clip the because you have, in my opinion, you have to use Relentless Anger. I think it's needed, or one of the healing moves, and you have to clip it in there, and yeah, you might want to use Galling.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like this right here is just a loadout to use on a sparring target. I think when I go into live, because I have to, I'm gonna try a few boss fights with just Relentless Anger and see how it goes. But I feel much more secure with having Relentless and Recovery to have double heals going onto me. I know I'm already a nightmare for healers as it is, but I'd rather try and heal myself so they don't have to struggle to keep me up too much.
Wait, what do you drop to add the other?
My loadout on live right now is Bloodlust, Relentless Anger, Remorseless Recovery, Galling Eruption, Outrage, and Eviscerating Chain. And I spam Outrage and Eviscerating Chain back and forth until Galling is back up. And most of the time, I time everything based off of Relentless Anger because Relentless Anger is on its own cooldown, but Bloodlust and Remorseless Recovery share the same cooldown.
Mm-hmm.
So once Relentless is up, I can just go 1, 2, 3, drop Galling again, and then just go back to spamming stuff. But I did do some testing with Galling Eruption, and I definitely see where everybody's coming from with the clipping, because you can hit Galling and then just go Galling, Remorseless Recovery, Bloodlust, and they clip after one another and just go straight into attacking. That's like 3 seconds of beating right there, and you're done.
This weekend I'm gonna do all my tests without. I'm gonna take out Galling and I'm gonna take out Wretch, and I'm just gonna use Bloodlust. I'm gonna look at what that nets, because I know people want to use a super. And in out of all the powers, I would say the one you can take out in melee, might be just Galling, but I don't know, because I'm assuming, I think the PI, the power interaction, doesn't work once the AM is up. Is that right? Is that right or no?
That would make sense. It's the way it works for the others.
Mm-hmm. That's the way it works for the others. So in my head, I'm thinking, all right, if somebody wants to take something out, I guess it would just be Galling. So.
That's what I do. I just take that out and replace it with Zerk on like ads, and then when I don't have a super, I just put Galling back on.
Okay.
So which super do you use? Do you use Berserk or Infuriate?
Zerk.
Berserk.
Yeah. Berserk for sure when you're close. The problem with Berserk is that it doesn't register past it's not far range, and it lasts so short. People already asked for that already to increase the duration. That's a tough one.
Well, not only that, but the damage that it does. Like, I can get maybe 80k out of it if I'm fully buffed or something like that. If I'm doing it on ads, or I don't know. I guess it's good to use if you have a super, but it's not like you're going to be pumping out like a ton of damage with Zerk like you used to. I don't know what changed with it, but it's not as good as it used to be.
The intention for Berserk, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's to do the same damage you did again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think it goes down to the duration, because before, was it 12 seconds or before, or something like that? So you had more time to pump out damage, right? And I think let's say you're in the middle of a fight and you're in combat, so you have 1.5 seconds for the AM to register, or whatever. You get knocked down. Like,
I love that, man.
like,
Been a long day.
Yeah.
like, it should be fine.
Okay, so I actually am. So I'm on my my DPS, my actual like.
Have you guys ever tried to actually with the plasma rush? Have you guys ever tried the fall cancel though, instead of jump canceling it to get past the dovetail?
What do you mean?
Well, you jump up in the air, hit plasma wretch. As soon as you hit the ground, the animation's over.
Haven't tried that, no.
So you don't have to worry about jump canceling it.
Well, let me go back to my Tunzo tester because he has plasma wretch and that's the thing when you're speccing as a rage character because you cannot get both galling and plasma. You have to choose one or the other because they're all the way down there. So let's see. So you're saying hit jump, hit plasma wretch, and then when you land, the animation will be done?
Yep. As soon as you hit the ground.
Oh, holy shit.
I didn't even know that. Yeah, see, you learn something every day.
Right?
Yeah, that's something I used to do. I did when I was rage a long time ago. See?
Yeah, see, and that's why when we were talking before our show, remember I told you anytime you guys go into the test server, it's always best to collaborate, man. Somebody out there knows something more than you know?
Yep.
So
yeah, I even told Tunso about that at SOE Live last time we were there, Trex. I told him, I said, yeah, man, I just jump up in the air, cast it out there, as soon as I hit the ground, the dovetail's gone.
Yeah, and this is something I also noticed on test and live, because when I hit Plasma Wretch and I jump, I'm actually not jumping, but on live servers, I've seen myself actually jump before. It's always been weird to me. It's always been weird. But yeah, so now when I'm when I'm jump canceling right here, I'm hitting the power and then hitting A to jump, and it feels like it goes by a lot faster. Because, it just feels like a 1 second thing when I do it. And, of course, you'll see it in just a moment on screen.
What spot do you put your wretch in your tray?
Third. Or for PlayStation, it's circle.
Circle, okay.
Yeah, so so my thumb is really not moving too far away.
I actually put it on the fourth one, the X, because for my fingers it's a little different. For me, I like to go straight into it, and I don't know. I tried circle before and I was messing up.
So let me switch over to my high-end rage because I can't. My Tunzo tester can't get into a league call at the moment because I forgot to talk to Ticken. Whoops.
You want me to invite you real quick? Or?
We'll do it after the show. We can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now.
But yeah, when I was DPSing with Ray, I would just jump up, hit Plasma Wretch, and as soon as I hit the ground, I'd be able to hit Bloodlust, and then go straight into Dreadful Blast.
Definitely gonna try that this weekend. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set my timer on my phone because I've seen a lot of tests for people have been for 300 seconds, basically 5 minutes, 5 minutes of straight doing rotations, and that's where they get their parsers. Is that what you do too?
I do 5 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. 30 parses or more. I think I have my screen. When I see my screenshots, I just wait until it reaches the top. That's 32, so 320 seconds.
Yeah, I always throw out that last part because that last part is always the worst one because you're stopping. So
Exactly.
So,
and
go ahead.
I want to mention something real quick. I love that Tunzo did this when he made that thread, the baseline thread. Oh god, that helps things like way much better. Like before, we would test and we wouldn't know exactly what to test for. Now we know what to test for. Like, what's the goal? You know what I mean? And now we can compare powers on an even basis, on a controlled basis. I know people like to say, "Oh, why don't you use this, use that?" We're trying to eliminate as many variables. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, that's controlled testing is the only way to do it.
Yeah.
You mean the baseline test post that he put out about a year into the first pass that we were doing for damage testing?
Things that would have been nice to know from the start.
He basically said, "You noobs are doing it wrong, and this is what you're supposed to be doing."
That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. No, idiots, you guys are supposed to be doing it like this. I was like, well, you never told us.
All right,
Yeah,
so
that's true.
So we're gonna have our guests and everyone talk a little bit about the testing methodology, of course, how the Tunzo testing works, and what they do to employ for the next 5 minutes. While I'm going to actually spend the next 5 minutes working on this rotation, doing as much DPS as possible, and then I'm going to upload it to a log analyzer that we'll see at the end of the 5 minutes. So, guys, talk about how you guys test.
You can go ahead, Harlequin.
What? But there's nothing really to say. It's like it takes longer to set up the Tunso tune the very first time because you have to run around everywhere buying sets to get the skill points. But once you have one, it's not so bad. You create your tune, buy all the feeds, go buy the gear. But yes, it's time consuming. And we could talk about this. Like I haven't been able to get the prestige thing to work. Like I have another tune I made to test Rage, a precision tune, and Sora one time sent me a message on how to do it. You know, put a bunch of stuff in your base, step outside, make the league, and step back in. And it's supposed to kablam. You have a bunch of prestige, but it's not working. Like I don't know how to do that now.
For me, it didn't work either. Ironically, it worked the next week after reset. Ironically, I'm like,
I'm gonna try that again.
Trex, what are you doing?
No, hold on, because I guess we should have brought this up too, because it was a thing that happened on the test. The revenge thing is actually fucking me up.
What do you mean? The revenge combo, or
the revenge going into the actual revenge spin? Because I'm doing it how I did it yesterday, and I cannot hit it.
Everybody's muscle memory's got to change on that now.
Yeah,
like, I think it's supposed to follow the animation closer than it used to.
What do you mean? Did they change how they changed it?
Well,
yeah, you altered the timing a little.
Boy,
yeah,
did
the input timing's different now. Like the animation's still the same. It has the touch, but the input's different.
Why did they change that?
Have you tried hitting it faster?
I was always doing it so fast.
You know what? You got me curious. I'm a little scared right now, so I'm actually gonna go on and check it out.
I'm
Did they slow it down or
I've
something?
been sitting here watching him, and he's like doing.
Me too. That's
Because-
what I was like.
Got the normal melee, loadout going here, and I'm like, he's failing this so hard right now.
I'm about to say F you revenge.
Oh my goodness.
Like I'm trying to get the revenge spin, and I can't get it.
That's tough. Oh my. Well, we'll look at it. If it's bugged,
this out now.
Yeah. If it's bugged, then it's a bug, and that's good. That's why we test.
Yay! Because holy crap! Because I'm doing it at different intervals in the animation, and it's just not working.
Oh god.
Tunzo broke my power. He did. Jerk.
Well, just going back to topic, the way I test, same thing as Harlequin. Like once you get the tune-up, it's pretty straightforward. I did the same thing as Soar. I have 3 different armories. I have a Might, Precision, and then a Balance one, Might, Precision, Balance. And then they all have like the iconic powers spec'd in, so that way I can just change on the go. And then what takes the longest in testing is base number testing. A lot of people aren't familiar with that. That's pretty much when you look at the raw power without any modifiers, just at the raw power. The reason we do that test is to compare the powers individually. So if somebody wants to know how much does this hit compare to this, and that's where testers use the base number testing. That Soar knows a lot about. There's a formula you use. You just plug it in, just plug and chug, and it gives you the damage. And you literally sit at a sparring target for 10 minutes, and you hit the sparring target with the power over and over and over again, so you can get a big sample size. And then you do the calculations. But and at the end of the day, you're thinking, why am I hitting a sparring target over again, doing nothing? It's just to get that, and it helps players out. It helps PvP players a lot actually, because they like to compare different powers and what to clip in, and that's when you look at base numbers. So I do that in my testing a lot. I did it for Irv, and Hardlight, and then Rage was the next one. I only touched the dots. That's all I had to do really. But that's fun. And then the parsing testing, I did the same thing as Harlequin. Same thing. Just once we got that baseline, everybody started doing the same testing pretty much. So anyway, yeah.
I'm switching out Revenge and putting Frenzy in.
Oh my goodness.
This will be fun. But yeah, so I feel like my Revenge is broken because I cannot get Revenge Spin going anymore. And of course, it's the weekend, so thanks, Tunzo. Thanks, man. Oh my god, I felt so... Oh, I was so mad. So mad that I couldn't get that going. Because that was my thing. That was it, so okay. So, and mostly, with Frenzy, it's like you have to time the attacks. You just just let it go. Yeah.
That's funny. We also Harlequin. Remember, we keep our logs. We have like I don't know if you have a folder too, Harlequin, but I have like a folder on my drive that I keep every log.
Yeah,
just because somebody always brings up, how is this power performing at this update? I remember somebody one day asked me, how was Earth in game update 43? I'm like, hold on, let me check my USB drive. Let me go back to the old archives. And actually, man, I'm so glad I do that, because it really helped out. I'm like, yeah, dude, this is how I did it, and this is how Crystal changed and all that. And yeah, it's always good to keep your logs, because what if a developer or somebody asks you, let me take a look at your log? Well, you need proof, you need proof that you actually did what you did. So.
Okay, so actually, Frenzy it looks fun, at least. It feels like you're melee DPSing. You're just clawing at them like a cat.
Oh snap! Wow, Revenge sounds different. It's different. Holy snap!
See?
I just messed up.
I couldn't get. You can't get the Revenge Spin.
Oh my god! I gotta get used to this. Yeah, it's a little different. Wow, Tunzo, what were you thinking?
I can't remember who suggested it about the Revenge Spin. Change.
I thought he was gonna. I thought he was gonna speed it up, because because like usually I very quick with it. When I mess up, it's because I went too fast. But it's like a delay to it.
Yeah, I think the delay is severe, to say the least. Because you really just can't do it.
I haven't even got off a combo yet.
It's too awkward of a power. I don't know.
I remember when Oa Under Siege came out, and I went melee DPS in there, and I had Revenge and Outrage, and those were my two back-to-back powers, and they were just, I mean, it was nasty, but the clipping I could do with it was really nice, though.
Yeah, it looks like it's a little buggy. We'll have to post about it.
Yeah, so no revenge testing for right now. None.
I can't get it to spin either. This is insane.
I'm not. I'm not insane. Thank God.
But yeah, you I always tell people you should always post your results, like always. I don't know if you noticed, Trex, like people log in on test server and they're writing on the server chat and they'll say, oh, I got this, I got that, and then I'm thinking in my head, well, why don't you post about it? Like, more data for the devs to look at.
Yeah.
And that you always want to make sure you post your
people
stuff.
People don't go to the forums. What are you talking about, man? Nobody goes to the forums.
Only 10% of the players go to the forums.
10%? You'd be lucky if you get 10% of the people play this game on the forums. That's like saying 1% of the people that play this game watch this show. You're okay.
No one watches this show.
What are you talking about? Nobody watches the Sourcecast.
Exactly my point.
Alright, so I got a little under a minute left on the test.
Oh my God, Trex! I haven't even pulled off a single revenge combo. I'm spamming it, trying to get a combo off.
It's so bad. It's so broken now. See, now I can officially say that the devs broke a power, broke an ability.
Is there even?
Do you maybe have
Has
to
anybody got
slower, like with the atomic combos? Because I noticed, like when Brittany was trying to tank with atomic when it first came out, she couldn't get the combos to go right when she was fighting, and it's because you actually have to do them a little bit slower.
I slowed down mine because thankfully I did atomic testing. I slowed it down. I tried it at different intervals in the power, and it still would not work.
Hmm.
Yeah, Soups. I can't get it off.
Okay.
I'm trying slow. I'm waiting the animation to play. I mean, have you guys gotten a combo off? I think I don't even think I could get a combo off.
Nope.
So my testing's done. I think I probably went a couple of seconds ahead. So this website I'm looking at here on the screen is www.dcuolog.com. This is where you can upload your combat log, and you're going to get a great breakdown. If you ever seen any of Rokyn's posts on the forums, I know he uses it because and seeing his posts, I'm like, I want to do that too. Google, tell me how to do it, and I found this website. So
and I want to give thanks to Shiny Mackerel. He's the one that made that site way back in the day, and
it still works.
Valuable. It still works. It's so valuable.
All right, so let's see. Click on your character's name, and yeah, I accidentally did a few melee attacks by mistake. But oh my God, what is Frenzy doing? What is this?
It's pretty sad.
That's not sad. That's pretty awesome.
Now, at the same time, I am like the character I did this on is CR153, so this isn't a Tunzo test. This is me as a one on 3 targets. So let me see. So just look at this bar real fast. Gall and Eruption and Outrage basically did the same amount of damage.
And that goes alongside what I was talking earlier. Base damage testing. Those powers have the same base damage. And wow. I can't speak for a developer. I can't speak for them, but I'm pretty sure when they do the coding, they put an even line for all those 3 powers when they're doing the AM. So very nice. Which is the same thing back to Munitions when they're doing their. That's why when Harlequin said, "Oh, all the powers are doing the same thing," is because they have the same number. So anyway.
Okay, so and then eviscerating chain being the lowest damage, but then eviscerating chain and eviscerate is actually really hard to determine because it's really your finisher, and you can't determine finisher damage on a sparring target unless you time it pretty well until before their health starts regening, which is insane sometimes.
Also eviscerating a single target, so that lowers the DPS too. Well, the might version, not the combo version, but the might version's single target. So
yeah, eviscerating chain is single target. Yeah, and then eviscerate is multi. It will hit multiple. Then
eviscerate. Exactly.
Go over Relentless Anger. Now, and then extra measure for outrage's extra measure is going to top damage. It just will. If I have revenge spin, I think my last test had revenge spin pretty close to extra measure as well for big damage. But then frenzy. I think frenzy is just basically the power, and it's in the rest of the melee attacks as well. I don't think it differentiates the damage.
It is separated for you? Okay.
Let me double check the power real fast to see if it's called anything, because it might just be still called frenzy. Punishment, frenzy. Yeah, it's just still called frenzy. So it's not going to break down because it's going to be the same name.
And that's the beauty of that side, right? You know, that damage breakdown. Oh, it's so nice. And then in the bottom section, you see the names of it. It tells you how many times you did it. It gives you the least tick, and then the highest tick you got, and then the average for that, and then the crit percentage. You can see what powers are critting the most, and then the best. And then my favorite stat, which is on the side, the overall percentage. It shows you where most of your damage is coming from. So.
44.8% was from frenzy. So yeah, of course it is. I feel like I just want to do frenzy for 5 minutes and see what it does. It'll be so boring. That'll be the most boring 5 minutes I ever do. But so this.
And if you keep looking around, it gives you a breakdown by time. If you click on that one, it shows you it's like a heartbeat graph, and it shows you how your damage is going every second, and it gives you everything there too. There's that one. We used to use these. There was a guy. He was a gadgets guy named Devil, and then the Dark, me, Remainder. We used to use this part because we didn't have tons of testing before. So we just use this part to determine damage. But anyway, out the way.
The breakdown by time I definitely like. I feel if it was possible to... I mean, I'm actually seeing here, you can actually upload multiple combat logs into this, and it will show all the... Like, if I grab all 5 of us, all 5 of our combat logs, and upload them, it will show all 5 of the players on this graph.
Exactly. Yes, and it'll be in different colors, so you can look. Oh, he's blue, and I'm red, and.
Dear God.
And you can. And also, if you have a pet, this is how we were testing for pets. I tested Crystal, my little buddy Crystal. The pets show up in this little graph too, and they're a different color. And if you put Robot Sidekick, he's all the way at the bottom because he much. So.
Poor little guy.
And then, but then you see Crystal. Crystal beats us in damage. Like you'll see her, she's just like, oh yeah, she's killing it.
All right, so let's see the top hits here. So I guess it shows the time that you hit the top hit.
Exactly, and it'll show you on the side. It'll show you if it was a crit or not. If it was a crit, it'll give you a check mark. So
it'll give you a check mark.
It should, I think.
I get nothing but X's.
I'm getting that too. That's weird.
Okay.
Look at your log. Click on log. You click there. All right. Look on the left hand side. It says here filter by type. This is nice. This is really good for healers and trollers. But anyway, it'll say right here show crits. If you click off on that, it won't show you crits. If you click on it, it'll show you crits. And then here you can click on a value. and then it'll give you and it'll say right there. So let's say eviscerate. I got like 18,000 off one hit here, and it says crit and it says true. So it was an actual crit. So really nice section. I don't know why it's not doing that for top hits, but anyway, yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then and then the parser summary. I've seen you post these before as well. So yeah. So total time was 300 seconds. Thank God. So my average DPS was 30k. The minimum that I ever did was 20k. The max I did was 41.
Nice. What's your crit percentage?
My average crit percentage was 24.5%.
That is really handy. All those numbers really handy because you can see exactly what's going on. How many crits you had?
806.
Yeah. See.
Yeah. You crappy's right. Most of the DPS came from Frenzy because of how long it is. Not really because it's good though. I don't know. I mean, if my revenge spin is broken,
because of how long the combo is, and also because you were splitting it across 3 targets.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
Now at the same time.
Oh yeah, damage splitting.
Yeah, Frenzy.
Damage splitting. We didn't even talk about that. So anyway, yeah.
But with Frenzy is a risk. It is definitely a risky because you're meleeing the entire time. Sparring targets are not going to block on you randomly and interrupt you during your frenzy. So you have to get yourself back up and then basically start your rotation back all over. But that's why luckily we got that 3 seconds. So yay! Sorry, Celestial. Yay! So damage splitting. Talk a little bit about that.
I just wanted to when a lot of people test, a lot of people don't realize that their damage. Well, I'm pretty sure they do, but it skews numbers. A lot of rotations that have single target moves in them, the DPS starts decreasing. You always want to make sure that you're using AOE moves on big mobs. On 2 or more targets, and targets start splitting after it's 3 targets or more. So when you're doing damage comps, when you're doing the modern thing, your DPS comps, or you're trying to compete against your friend, you're always trying to go for the most, for the least number, but you always want to hit the most targets because it'll generate damage. And then let's say you guys remember in Throne, you guys remember who was that guy that would put up the Totem Master? You guys remember him? Yeah.
Yeah.
The Totem Master, we always had to burn him down, and he would be with ads around him, and you would have to use single target moves there. So that's where you gotta make sure. Okay, I don't want my damage to split, so that's why you have some powers that have single target moves, and you use that on that ad. So you always want to make sure you understand damage splitting. Just in general as a DPS. So that's all. And use your single target when it's needed if you need to burn a particular ad down. So.
All right, so.
And then when you're damage comping, always try to get as many targets as you can, and you'll beat your friend, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'll get my tons of testing tune done this weekend, so I can. Sunday, I can spend a little time actually doing proper testing.
Nice, and that gives me a smile that you said that, because I always tell people, test, post, share your results. The more people we have testing, the more data we have. I'm only one man. The more testers we have, the more data, and you can compare. Okay, this person did this person did that, and we can find different things about it. That's what makes it a beauty when you're testing all together and you all have we share the same mind in that area. That's why I always say, you always want to test and talk about it. I encourage people to test the right way, obviously, but just do it. So
yeah, I'm more or less a content tester, because sure enough, if I can defeat a solo, the solo is too easy and it needs to be buffed. Question here from Mega Man: do you think Frenzy should cancel Rage Crash? No, not really, because especially in the melee loadout, you have Eviscerating Chain or Outrage or Revenge. I think Revenge actually cancels Rage Crash, if I'm not mistaken. It does not. But we
Revenge
have...
does cancel Rage Crash.
No, it doesn't. Oh, it does. I see it now. There, it's all right there.
changed
Yeah.
it?
No, it's
Yeah,
right.
it does.
I scrolled down and wasn't up. But yeah, so we have 3 other abilities that really cancel Rage Crash. I don't think we need another one. And at the same time, Revenge, you can clip Frenzy. You can clip out of it into Outrage or Revenge or Eviscerating Chain. Frenzy, I feel, could really take the replacement of weapon damage instead of having to use a weapon or weapon mastery. Just keep casting Frenzy and just call it a day. I mean, it's like, why do I even have a weapon? I'm just gonna put it in my inventory. I don't need it.
Yeah, and right now, in tank stance, that's the only combo that doesn't cancel, and you can just spam it. Mm-hmm. And that kind of brings up the whole tank AM thing, which I guess I didn't want to go there because you're the one leading, but yeah, there's that.
No, it was gonna have to be spoken about anyways, and that's probably gonna be my testing for tomorrow, on just my normal character to actually go into. Because I'm actually going to go into the new alert, or maybe even to one of the other alerts, and go in there as a rage tank and use the advanced mechanic and see how it goes. And a lot of players on the forums are talking about lowering the cooldown, and I'm just like, no, we don't need to lower the cooldown for any of these abilities in tank stance. Because players want to use advanced mechanics, and I get that. I do. I want to do it too. I just want to play with that. I'm probably not going to do it all the time because to use the advanced mechanic in Rage, I have to kind of move things around, and I don't want to do that because I only use Eviscerating Chain and Ragebringer. Those are the only 2 abilities that do damage in my loadout. The only 2. I mean, my tank loadout is Eviscerating Chain, Severe Punishment, Ragebringer. And then, wow, what is my other ones? It's my 2. I have my 2 cancels, and for some reason I can't remember what my other ability was. That's strange. But yeah, it's I don't use the combos all the time in Rage in my tank. I just don't. It's just not how I'm programmed. But I do want to play around with it. I do want to see how it goes. But the cooldowns will definitely be affecting. But again, if you are in a support role and you want to use their advanced mechanics, more power to you. But you need to remember your number 1 job is to be a support. It's not to do damage. So if you want to do your advanced mechanic, awesome. Congratulations. Do it. Burn the boss down a lot faster. That's awesome. But don't forget your number 1 job as a tank. Keep the boss on you. As a controller, keep my power up and debuff those bosses. As a healer, you better be healing. I don't think we actually had a healer power unlocked for the advanced mechanics yet. Celestial.
Yeah.
But, I mean, come on. Who plays Celestial? I'm joking.
I like Celestial.
Yeah, I like it too.
It's not bad, yeah. It's my next alt.
Yeah, I mean,
5 right now.
I wanted to comment on that, on the AM damage. You saw that post by Tunzo, right? When you talked about the cooldown. Or no?
Yes, I did see.
I
Yeah,
don't
I saw
remember
that.
exactly what he said, but yeah.
And it's true. Like he was talking about how it goes against the tank, the whole mechanic of rage crashing, risk and reward. Because if you're just spamming the combos like without cooldown, the point of it is if you mess up and you crash, you're done. And I agree with that too. It's just it's tough because how are you gonna get AM damage going if you? And then I thought of. Guess what? I thought of Frenzy. Oh, everybody hates Frenzy. And I'm like, if he can update that to baseline damage, and we can spam that and tank roll, and then cancel or crash. There we go. But that power is just so weird that I don't even know Frenzy. So that's a tough, and I understand Tunzo. It's a tough line across because you want to make sure you stay true to the mechanic, but you also want to do AM damage. A lot of people are talking atomic. That's a whole nother topic. It's the way they work. You know, we can't be atomic. We're different. We're rage. It's every part's different. You know, so. And like you said, support role. What's the first thing you do? You do your support role.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean,
Yeah,
no one
Atomic's
listens
still
to the
the wrong
show,
color.
so they won't hear us. All right, so before we wrap this up, I just want to give a little spotlight to Harley and Rokyn here. Talk a little about yourselves. Let the community of 49 people know who you are, what you're about. You don't have to give your in-game character name. We understand. What's that word I'm looking for? Invisibility. We do not have that luxury anymore.
Oh my god.
Well,
You
like
can go ahead,
the
Harlequin.
live
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, I mean, what got you into the game? What were you doing?
Oh,
in-game?
I'm a giant comic nerd. That's what did it. I started playing during Hand of Fate. Like I didn't really. I was a WoW addict, right? Just like a lot of other people. So, I mean, I started my online gaming way back when in the early '90s with like MUDs and stuff like that, and moved on. Then I finally got a Dreamcast and played Phantasy Star Online. I love that. Moved on to the GameCube, Phantasy Star Universe. Neverwinter Nights was my first computer, like online multiplayer thing. Fast forward, friends got me into WoW, which, just like everybody else, consumes too much time.
Yes, it does.
And then DC looked fun. I mean, I hadn't really played. PSO was kind of an action-y type MMO. It was only 4 people, though. It was a lobby type game, but it was fun. So I tried it as free to play, then subbed up, and I've been subbed ever since. It was about 4 or 5 weeks before Home Turf came out, and got a new league back then. Did the Fosses, did with a Vengeance, and the other started as a hero, of course. Made my tank. We dabbled a little bit. I played pretty consistently until Origin Crisis, and then my league fell apart, so I kind of drifted back to WoW for a while. Came back, found another league. I'm with BB and the guys in 13 Legion. Shout out to those guys. They're awesome.
Oh, you're with Bubbling Bee.
Yes. Yeah.
And Chaotic, yeah. Yeah,
They're fun people. So yeah, so I just play around now. I can't really get super hardcore into the game because they've switched the reliance to replays. So
yeah.
I'm not too keen on that. So I spend my time raising alts and just playing around with all the powers now. I have every tune except for mental and gadgets, and I try to do as best I can with all of them when I can.
All right. What about you, Rokyn?
And that's about it.
Man, with me, well, pretty much. Hi, Rokyn. I started. I'm actually a pretty young guy. I started playing games pretty late in the game, like around 2008, 2009, around there. I started playing video games heavily, and I got into the basketball games. That's what I was into. And then I saw that DC came out in 2011. I tried it out on PC. I started playing on PC. My character's name was Nightwing, and I completely copied Nightwing completely because I had no ideas, no original ideas. And I remember that I would start playing, and I would get killed by the little what are the henchmen? The Scarecrow henchmen, like one shotted by them. I'm like, what's going on? And I did because I didn't want to put gear on because it was style. and then I learned how to lock my style, and then I just went on from there. After I learned how to lock my style, I totally got into the game. I played on PC at first for first 2 years. And I was with a league called Then Run Like Hell, and they're awesome guys. They're still going around right now. They're very good players. And then my PC stopped working, and I couldn't PC game anymore. So I went to PlayStation, and I played with a league there for a while. They broke up after Origin Crisis. It was a tough period. and I originally I was gadgets for those first 2 years, and then I became Earth, and Earth was very fun for me because it was the jackhammering, and my favorite superheroes were always Superman and Nightwing. That's what got me into the game was Superman. I'm like, oh, Superman game, I want to try it out, you know. And I wanted to be just like Superman with the whole jackhammering thing and the whole super strength thing. I was just role playing. And then I got into a new league. It was about a year after that. I got into an Inner Circle, which is they play a lot of high end stuff, like high end content, and then that's where I had to I was such a noob that when I came in, I just didn't know how to play at all. And it wasn't until some of the players there took me to the side and taught me how to play. Ice Lantern, Dajiko, the Dark. They taught me how to play the game, and then that's where I got really into it. And then now I'm playing like crazy. I play, do all the survival mode stuff. I love the game completely. I love testing. I love the DPSing part. I love tanking. It's like I'm all in. You know what I mean? At first I liked the game for like the whole role playing aspect, and then I became very hardcore about it. I started learning the little things about it, the mechanics and the damaging part and the testing stuff, and yeah. And here I am today. So I have time usually on the weekends. I play every day too, but most of the time I have is on weekends. I go to school right now, so yeah. But
awesome.
That's pretty much it.
All right. So we're going to end it here. I definitely want to thank our guests, Rokyn and Harlequin, for joining us this evening, giving us a good look at Munitions and Rage, the mid-range changes. Rage is... I'm so happy with Rage right now. Except for Revenge right now. Revenge, thanks, Sunzo, you broke it. Grr, sir, grr. So, as usual, we're going to hop over here to our shameless plug. So, be sure to follow us on the social media on Facebook and Twitter. Just type in DCUO Sourcecast and you'll be able to find us. Find all the VODs over at youtube.com/Trexlight in the Sourcecast playlist. They're also going to take you over to Super Patriot's channel because he was nice enough to host a few episodes. You can find the audio and... Well, you can find the audio on Trexlight.com and on iTunes. Just type in DCUO Sourcecast. If you guys have a question or a suggestion you guys want us to ask or talk about on the Sourcecast, email us at dcuosourcecast@gmail.com or just find me on the forums, Trexlight, and just mail it to me if you can't work an email. Some people can't. I'm not judging. 2016, I refuse to judge. You can't work an email. That's a you thing, not a me. So, Soups, where can we find you?
Napping, apparently.
Sorry, my headphones unplugged. Did he talk or he snore?
He hasn't said anything.
He probably went to the restroom. Okay. Brit! Where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube /Brittany, on Twitter at PinkRanger_206, or on Twitch at Brittany_. Trex, where can we find you?
You can find me over at Facebook.com/Trexlight, on YouTube at YouTube.com/Trexlight. You can find me always on the Twitter at ThisIsTrex, and be sure to follow my Twitch channel over at twitch.tv/Trexlight. And you can find Super Patriot over at Facebook.com/The Daddy's House, and basically everywhere that /The Daddy's House. The Facebook, the YouTube, the Twitter, and the Twitch /The Daddy's House. Yeah, I hope he's okay. He's never gone AWOL like this before. Rokyn, where can people find you if you have a Twitter that you want to share or wherever?
Unfortunately, I'm not in the Twitterverse. I don't have a Twitter. I don't use Twitter. I don't use Instagram. You can check me on the forums. I write a lot on the forums. If you have any questions and stuff, I'll be glad to help out. And then you can check out my YouTube channel. Just look up my name and you'll find it. So I always like to post videos and stuff, helping people out.
Yeah, and his and how do you spell your name? Because it's
Yeah, it's Rokyn.
yeah. Be sure to follow him. Oh, if you go to the forums, click on his name. You can hit that follow button. Follow what his posts are. Harlequin, what about you?
I'm an old fart, so I don't do the social media stuff.
Again, smart man.
Yeah, but you can. Again, I'm on the forums a lot. I try to keep myself out of arguments, but it doesn't work all the time. But yes,
It's
yes,
true.
You're
That's
welcome
very
to DM
true.
anything you need. I'm a very helpful guy. Usually, I try to be social. So,
How's that waiting for EQ next?
yeah, exactly. It's a part of why I'm so old. It's not coming. I don't know. I hope so.
After all the work they're doing in Landmark, it better be coming. I tell you what.
Yeah, agreed. I finally saw they released some landmark information I saw on Twitter today, so I need to check that out. I do have a Twitter, I'm sorry, but it's my personal name. It's for family stuff like that. So
Understandable. No hard feelings. So be sure to follow both of these fine fellows on the forums. And once again, thank you guys so much for coming on tonight to talk about the testing. I know you guys probably have better things to do on a Friday night, and again, it was such short notice. But I saw your posts through the threads, and I was like, you know what? Let me at least see if these guys want to come on tonight. See if they want to have a Friday night on the interwebs. So
I appreciate it a lot. It was really fun.
Yes, thank you very much. It was a surprise. I really do appreciate it.
It was, yeah. I was like, what's this?
Yay! I surprised people. Yay! So, and that's all you gotta do. That's all you have to do is if you guys are respectful on the forums, you guys are prominent on feedback and stuff, and really just being very helpful, like these two gentlemen, then you might be able to go on the Sourcecast. That's I troll on the forums the entire day I'm at work because I don't do work, so I just find people, and if we have something that we can bring them into the discussion, then I'll bring them into the discussion for the show. So, and I hope all you viewers out there listened and learned a few things. And of course, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments section below. And I'll try. If I can't answer them, I'll at least message them on the forums, and they'll give me the answer, and I'll copy and paste. Or just find them on the forums and send them a private message, because they want private messages. They'll say no, but they'll take it. They'll do it. So that's it for the Sourcecast tonight. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully next week we'll get an update on when game update 57 is coming out. It's kind of like the lost game update at this point, because we don't know where it is. We just don't know. And
yeah, Meps in a thread said there was a technical difficulty. So.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so good. Hopefully that will come around. So go out there and finish your Valentine's Day events. Go out there and beat Prison Break, and hope you guys have fun out there in game. Have a great weekend. Good night, guys.